Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am Bot Whisperer, and I am currently just sitting back to watch the 7-year anniversary stream for Dead by Daylight, which completely blew past. I lost track of time, let's just say that, and had no idea that it was going to be yesterday afternoon, so I missed it. So here I am. I'm going to watch it now. We're going to watch it together, I guess, if you don't mind. And we'll see how everything goes. Watch this and we can frickin', react to it together. Because why the hell not?
Year of behavior. I've been here a little over a year now, and in that time I've been really blown away by the passion of the DBD player community. It's really something special.
They're awesome.
They are, and we take it really seriously. We don't take it for granted. And kind of along those lines, for me being here representing how we speak to our community, I just wanted you to know that we've actually taken the past year to expand our reach. We also have expanded where we are connecting with our players. Because the players at the center of everything that we're doing, we want to be in more places to hear your feedback on all of the things that we're doing. So we're now in the Xbox official clubs, we're now on PlayStation News, we're talking on Steam for...
Yeah, okay, that's kind of stupid. I actually want to add something to the chat right now. There was a code that they put up on the screen just before I started rolling.
There was a code that they put up
on the screen. So I'm going to put that in there. 100,000 blood points.
DBD7, 400,000 BP.
And there's also Trapper 7. Charm.
Trapper 7, Trapper Charm.
So, don't forget those. Make sure you punch those in and get you guys' blood points. Okay, we'll get rid of that now. And we'll go back over here.
Back on the Reddit with the moderators there. There'll be more AMAs coming up from the team, and even live streams like you're seeing right now. We want to make more regular again. So look forward to all of that coming over the next year. Now I think I couldn't forget the most important platform of them all. No joking aside, all joking aside. Actually today we are launching our TikTok channel as well. We found that there's actually a really thriving DVD community on TikTok, and we want to be there talking to you, creating fun content with you. So we're really happy to be there now. But I think we should move on with the show itself. Did you know, Matt, that over the 7 years, there's been over 1.8 billion trials?
What?
Yes, billion with a B. And to that note, DBD's not slowing down at all.
We wouldn't know how.
No, we wouldn't, and we couldn't. So let's talk through what you're going to see today. We're going to kick things off with the Year 8 roadmap. That's going to show you everything that's coming across the year to DVD. Following that, we're going to take you through the reveal of our next chapter, which is some incredible original stuff you're not going to want to miss. After that, we've got gameplay updates. After that, we've got quality of life updates. And then a new segment has come to the show. This is actually something that's really cool. We're going to take you beyond the core game of DBD to show you how we're expanding other places and in other ways that you might not be expecting.
Good. Maybe we'll get some different modes of gameplay instead of just fixing gens.
As well that I think are going to surprise people. I'm so psyched about those. And we're going to round it out with news about the in-game 7th anniversary event, which is better.
That I'm really looking forward to.
It's going to be a really exciting one this year. And of course, as Matt mentioned, you do want to stick around for whatever he's hiding, because I actually know what it is, and it's incredible.
Can't tell them.
No, I can't tell you as much as I would like to. So, thank you so much for joining us. Sit back, relax. We've got a great show, and now I think we should get on to it.
Enjoy.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the roadmap segment of this 7th year anniversary stream for Dead by Daylight. I'm Stéphane Beauchamp, head of production.
And I'm Justin Brown, product director. We're really glad to be here celebrating another amazing year of Dead by Daylight with you.
Today in this segment, we'll have a look at our upcoming pillars for Year 8, as well as our chapters plans and the archives and tomes updates that we have planned for the year. Before going any further, I do want to take a brief moment to give a big shout out to the amazing team that's been working on the game for the past years. They put amazing effort and dedication into that and really allow us to get the game to the state it is today. It's just absolutely
Agreed.
over the past year. We've put out 2 particularly interesting chapters, I feel, amongst others. But first, Forge and Fog has allowed us to tap into a new theme which we've never really had a chance to before. Medieval, which is something we hadn't explored. So our first foray into that and how that ties into the horror themes and all, that was very interesting to navigate. And the second one, for the first time, we have released a first ever sequel to a licensed chapter in Resident Evil Project W. Such a great and cool addition to the game, I think, bringing in a lot of characters people love, and they have been really fun to play with ourselves.
Absolutely. Wesker was so well done. One of my favorite killers to play, personally. And it was right around the time that he released that we also did the Prestige update.
Did you just fix his running
making
a
it
bit?
easier than ever for you to sort of unlock all of your perks throughout all of your characters. We also, shortly after the Prestige update, reduced the blood point total or cost in the Blood Web for all items. We followed that up with bots, survivor bots specifically, in custom matches, which was super useful.
God,
Practice your
please,
killer
kill
in a custom
bots.
match. It's awesome. We did 2 important quality of life updates to the archives, one being the ability to select quest per role, and then the second, just that in-game toast notification so you can track progress in a match, which is ever so helpful. And then last but not least, last year we said we were going to make our events bigger and better, and we feel like we really delivered that with last year's Halloween. Probably the biggest, best event we've done in Dead by Daylight.
It was a pretty good event, actually.
Now, switching gears, we're going to give you guys a first peek at the upcoming content you can expect us to release throughout this next year. First and foremost, of course, there are going to be, again, 4 new chapters that include killers. But in the strange twist, what you will notice on the graphic today is that there are also 2 survivor-only chapters being released in the...
Oh. Chapter redacted. New killer, survivors. Tome 18 chapter, just a new survivor. Huh. So we'll get 3 new killers, and then we'll get just a couple survivors as well. So we're going to get 4 new survivors and 3 new killers. Oh, and 1 chapter is killer only. So that's cool. So just a new killer.
next year.
A lot to unpack, changing the pace a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's not straying too far away from what we've been used to over the past. As is tradition,
Which is ultimately
we will be
good.
actually taking a peek at the next upcoming chapter, an original one, any segment that
Because
follows
that'll
very shortly
thin out
after this
the
one.
new
And
perks.
exploring another theme we really
Sometimes it's
haven't
just too
had the chance to
much.
in the past, so that's pretty exciting, both in terms of the characters and the team we're exploring with it. So the next 2 killers that will follow after that are going to be licensed, and I would say licensed with a big L if I can. Really iconic additions to the game. Extremely excited to be able to talk a little bit more about
Sweet.
that. Unfortunately, a little too early today to be able to do that. We've started to play with them a little bit internally and seeing how the characters are going to shape up, and it's pretty exciting to actually have those additions to the game.
Yes.
So, more to come later this year. In addition to that, moving away from the chapters, we will also have 4 new tomes added to the game throughout the year, as we usually have over the past years. So, moving away from our chapters and archives, we'll now deep dive into the 4 pillars that compose the roadmap for the year, and as players will see, they're a continuity from what we've been doing over the last years.
Of course, and though the pillars might look the same, the projects we work on under each pillar changes from year to year. The first pillar is something we've already talked about, events evolution, we're calling this pillar. We do plan on taking our 4 sort of pillar events and making them even bigger, even better than they have been in the past, including last year's Halloween, which we plan on sort of one-upping again this year. But in addition to those 4 pillar events, we're also going to look at adding a few more smaller events spread throughout the year.
And for those of you who have been with us for a long time, you might already know what the smell of barbecue is in the game. I know you love barbecue.
Love barbecue.
We all do. For those of you who don't, well, you'll get to see it very shortly. But really the goal is to give you more to play with at all times in the game and something to work towards too. Second pillar is trust and security, which is more important to us than ever in Dead by Daylight. This pillar both reflects the systems that we're putting in place to make the game more secure, but also the way we're communicating with our players. The first one, the former of those, we're really excited to say that we're about to launch a vulnerabilities disclosure program, which will allow us to work with people in the wild to report potential threats about the game, about our servers, etc., and really facilitate us closing those potential weaknesses that we knew or did not know about within the game. So very, very excited to launch this. This is going to be coming up in the near future, so you can stay tuned for more info about that.
Yes, I'm super excited for when we're able to share a little bit more information with everybody about that initiative. Next up, we're also going to be looking at revamping our sort of streaming strategy. We want to make sure that we're able to communicate with you, our players, more often, offer a higher level of transparency, discuss sort of updates and the progress on a lot of the features and initiatives we're going to be announcing and talking about throughout this stream today. We plan on doing that by doing live streams more consistently to celebrate, new chapter releases, large key beats, and generally just being in contact with you, our community, consistently throughout the year. One of those topics is very likely to be our next pillar, which is life balance, a topic that's, very dear to us. It's something I spend a lot of time thinking about and worrying about, and something that I won't go too deep into today, because we will be talking about a little bit, right?
Yeah, well, we'll have Nat and Jeff coming up in a future segment and talk about what type of projects we have planned for the coming months on that specifically. Awesome. Very excited, very important for us, and we know how dear to the community's heart this also is a pretty hot topic in general, I would say. Last but not least, quality of life is a staple pillar on which we have continuously worked throughout the years, and this is all about the UI and feature improvements we make to the game as a more general type of thing. One improvement we did last year was the Survivor HUD, which facilitates exchange and communication between players, even if they're not talking with each other directly, to make sure you can always make a better decision as a survivor when you're playing the game, because you know what's happening a little bit more than you used to in the past. In addition to that, you've talked about the improvements we made to the progression and made it faster to level up, but we made it even faster by allowing you to just spend a ton of blood points almost instantaneously and just get it done and get it through with with upgrading your characters and leveling up much faster in the Blood Web.
It feels great.
It does. Yeah. And finally, the map repeat prevention feature, which was released a few months ago, which, again, another addition. There's a lot of maps into the game. Some of you might have felt like even if you're playing for just an hour, you're often tapping like 2 or 3 times into the same map.
Interesting you're saying this, because after I hit Iridescent 1, I got put on Coldwind multiple times in a row. But, sure, okay, your thing is, mixing it up.
And this is really preventing that from happening as much as possible, so a very cool addition. We're not going to go too much in detail today, or at least in this specific segment, to talk more about quality of life features, but we'll have 2 new faces, Raphael and Pamela, who are going to be coming up in a future panel and talk to you about some of the projects we have planned and even show you a few features that we have under works right now and that are going to be coming up in your hands fairly shortly. Yeah.
Excellent. There's a lot we look forward to sharing with you in this stream today. And we thank you again for an amazing 7 years celebrating Dead by Daylight with us, and we look forward to many more. Next up is our friend Dave Richard to give you a first look at our next upcoming Dead by Daylight chapter. Enjoy.
Please, I want to know what it is.
Hey, I'm Dave Richard, Creative Director of Dead by Daylight. I'm super happy to be with you today to celebrate our 7th anniversary, and to show you a first look at our latest chapter and transmission. Let's take a look at the trailer.
It wasn't programmed to harm the crew. It was supposed to help us build a safer home, but something happened. It became self-aware. It has no empathy. It doesn't feel pain. Learns at an impossible rate, and it won't stop until we are dead. Or worse.
Interesting.
As you just saw in the trailer, this original chapter brings us into a completely new genre of horror for Dead by Daylight. We are going to explore sci-fi horror. So this will bring us to a distant, unknown planet, and will feature characters from a possible future. Traditionally, I would be taking some time with you today to go over the characters and the map of the chapter, but this year we're doing things a little bit differently, with a behind-the-scene video. We want to show you the process of creating a chapter, but also show you new faces that you might not have seen before, of amazing people that are working hard to make these chapters possible. Let's take a look. For the anniversary, we've prepared a very special original chapter.
On a de la chance sur Dead by Daylight d'avoir
I like in Dead by
lore
Daylight to have a lore that allows the
flexibilité,
flexibility and
This is a
possibility.
big deal for the Dead by Daylight universe, because we're going to explore a new genre in horror. We're going into sci-fi. I think that any kind of subject and genre can be rewrapped and reimagined as horror, and sci-fi is definitely not an exception. There are three big themes that we wanted to explore in that new realm. First of all, it's clearly an alien world. We wanted you to feel like you are far from home, that you are lost in space.
Can we get some
The second one
space
is that we wanted
generators?
to make sure that the human technology looked weak, lo-fi, so that you never feel safe within these constructions that they've brought on the settlement. And the last thing we've added to the mix are traces of a long-lost alien civilization.
Donc, comme vous pouvez imaginer, toute l'équipe
As you can imagine, the whole team is very excited to work on a science fiction chapter. The big challenge, and at the same time the interesting challenge that we had, was to bring all this consistency, this relationship between the characters, the environment. Everything has been thought out visually so the players feels in constant danger, and the tension is accentuated by the presence of this killer, who is an artificial intelligence that feeds on the environment, and is interested in recovering several resources to build himself a perfect body and become the ultimate weapon. The map. Players will explore a hostile and savage jungle from another world. Everything in the jungle is designed for killing. One aspect
was a jungle, so we could make it super dense, super threatening in the organic design and the design of the plants. Everything kind of looks like it could kill you. We try to have like very creepy looking texture, very organic texture you would find in nature. We would try to bring it into the designs of the plants and the vegetation in general. The main building, the idea was to show that was a safe space for the characters. As you can see, it's on stilts. It's elevated compared to the map. The idea was to show that the map is very dangerous and this place should be safe for you. But the interesting idea we had is that once you get into the structure, it's actually more dangerous or looks more threatening to you.
the killer.
The Singularity is an AI that is supposed to help the human crew settle on this new planet. But while it was scouting, it got in touch with a piece of old alien technology and was enlightened. And now it wants to overthrow and kill all humans. So this killer is an interesting take on the cyborg. We're used to see organic character using pieces of machinery to clarity is doing it in reverse. It is a simple piece of technology using a cloning technology to get organic material and flesh to become more powerful.
Well, the inspiration of the killer design was, we always wanted to do a sci-fi killer, so you're going to be able to go around the map and set up these biopods, spread your consciousness inside of these biopods, and then if you're able to catch a survivor inside of your reticle, you'll be able to infect them, appear next to them, and then you'll be able to attack them and keep the chase going. One of the important things for survivors is teamwork, trusting each other.
Is it just me, or does that sound like Pinhead with a projectile weapon? Which is ironic thing to say because he has the chains, but what I mean by projectile weapon, I guess the best way to put it is a projectile box. because when you pick up Pinhead's box and you try to solve the cube, he teleports to you. You're going to have a killer now who can attach a thing to you and then forcibly fucking teleport to you that way? That's pretty fucking crazy. But I suppose in a lot of ways, if you want to be realistic, it's not much different than stepping on one of the Hag's portals and she appears at you. But still, I don't know. It seems like it might be a bit much. I guess we'll see what happens.
Working together. So with the...
Also, does anybody else find it strange that this is a cyborg character when the fucking last chick, what the fuck was her name? The merchant of death or whatever, the fucking cyborg merchant bitch, whatever. What the fuck's her name? The skull merchant. She was supposed to be like cyborg with cybernetic and all that shit, right? I mean, wasn't that kind of what was going on? It seems a tad odd that they're going to be doing that, you know. Seems a tad odd they're going to be doing... They did the Knight, then they did the Skull Merchant, who was like a cybernetic version of the Knight, and now they're going to go full-born cyborg. That's... I don't know. That's kind of... I don't know. That's weird. Let's see what happens.
Killer, one of its abilities in the Slipstream is that once a survivor is tagged or infected, you can spread that influence to other survivors, and it does so automatically, so survivors will be less likely to work together, and there'll be more discord between them.
That was weird. He's got this like thingy on his big-ass thing on his back, which seems odd. It seems like... How would people not notice that? How will that mess with people?
La présence humaine est visible dans la map. On voit une compagnie qui a essayé de coloniser, de trouver sa place dans ce monde.
The human presence is visible on the map. We see a colony that tried to colonize and find its place in this world.
Mais
but there are several signs in the environment that the players will discover showing nothing has gone right.
Pas très bien passé.
No kidding.
Et le
And
dernier
the last survivor of this failed
cette
expedition is Gabriel.
Our survivor, Gabriel Sola, is quite resourceful. He's able to troubleshoot some pesky issues on the survivor side, and he's able to adapt
Like
very
opening
quickly
the door?
to be able to bring the killer
Dropping
away
pellets?
from the other survivors. He's able to protect the others.
So even though we are in a setting that's so far from home, in the future, we wanted to make sure that Gabriel was a grounded character, that any of us could recognize ourselves in it.
I'm super excited for players to try this map. I think it's great that Sci-Fi is finally in DVD. I think it's going to be fun for them to experience the creepiness and the threatening vibe of this map, and I think they're going to really enjoy it.
C'est un sacré défi. J'espère que les joueurs
This is quite a challenge. I hope the players will enjoy the relationship between all our assets and environment and characters because of the story we are telling. And also the work that was done by our entire team to bring the most immersive and dangerous experience possible.
I'm really excited for all of our players, survivors, and killers alike to be able to experience our first original sci-fi chapter and transmission.
As always, you'll be able to play with the content of this chapter during the PTB right after this broadcast. For everyone else, the chapter becomes available on June 13th. Before I leave, I want to take some time and thank all of you, veterans and newcomers alike, to play Dead by Daylight and to be part of this incredible journey with
So
us.
all the new people are
I
playing
want
the
to
new
wish you
killer
a happy
already.
7th anniversary. May the year be filled with fun and surprises.
I never fucking
Next
sits
up,
right
we
with
have
me.
Natalie and Jeff to talk about some gameplay improvement coming this year.
I mean, maybe I've never talked about it before, but I really don't like PTB. Because it's like, yeah, okay, so you have all the big fucking streamers who play Dead by Daylight, like, fucking, you know, every stream, every day, and they've got, like, you know, every fucking single character maxed out. Like, you look at someone like Ots Darva, and, like, he's got, like, 5 billion blood points and, like, 500 bazillion shards. Like, the guy's not running short on anything. The second these killers come out, he's going to have them, like, max prestige. So it's like, okay, and then you're going to give him the opportunity to play with these characters for, like, the next month, or, you know, whatever, the next, like, 2.5 weeks, for, you know, and then you're going to have people like me who get it on June 13th who are going to go in there against people who have already got these fucking characters prestiged and maxed out and have learned the play style. Like, yeah, good luck with that, right? Wales. I mean, nothing against Oddstarve. I think he's a great guy. I actually follow him on Twitch. But it's just like, I don't know. It just doesn't sit right to me. And I heard somebody else make the comment, well, this is what happens when you don't have a QA team and you let the public be your QA, your free QA testers, which is basically what Behavior here is doing. But, oh man, it just doesn't seem right.
Hi everyone, I'm Natalie, Team Lead Community Manager for Dead by Daylight, and I'm joined here today with a very special guest.
Hi everyone, my name is Jeff, and I'm a game designer on Dead by Daylight.
Thank you so much for joining me, Jeff. I can't wait to talk a little bit more about a topic that is always top of mind for our community, gameplay. So we have some quick updates for you today. Jeff, let us know what they are.
Well, as you know, the game design team has many features and updates planned for this year. However, we'll be focusing on 3 specific topics today. We're going to be talking about continued gameplay updates, map balance, and finally, plans to address face camping in Dead by Daylight.
I'm excited to dive into
Wow.
these quick updates, so
We're going to address face camping. This will be fucking interesting.
without further ado, let's jump right in. I know last year we launched one of the biggest perk updates in Dead by Daylight ever.
You mean Bubba's gonna have to learn to
Dead by Daylight
play?
perk meta as a whole, but that's not what we're going to
Not
be
all
talking about
Bubbas.
today. That's happened in the past.
But most
what we're
of
going to
them.
be focusing on a little bit more is the process that we're looking to take consistently moving forward as a community and design team when it comes to these gameplay updates. So, Jeff, what more can you share with us on that?
Well, as you said, last year we launched our biggest perk update ever in Dead by Daylight, and it had a significant impact on the perk meta. We saw a lot of perks fall out of the meta and new perks rise to the top.
Well, of course
this
you
was
did.
completely natural. Like, the players are the ones that drove this change after the changes went live, and it was super interesting to see, by the way. But moving forward, or for this year, we're not planning to have a major shakeup like we did last year. Instead, we revisited our live design process to allow us to make changes at a faster rate. Instead, we'll be focusing on smaller, more focused balance updates with each update this year.
That makes a lot of sense, and of course, it's one of the reasons why we listen so closely to player feedback as a whole. But it does sound like we're going to be able to integrate some of that feedback that we're bringing back to your team, and we're discussing when it comes to these kinds of updates a little bit faster than before. Am I right?
Absolutely, and I think the best example for that was the previous PTB that we had. We had a proposed list of changes that went onto the PTB. The community gave a lot of feedback, and your team reported that to us, and we made some small adjustments. Well, we made quite a few adjustments to it, and it went live, and I think that everyone was pretty happy with the result. So our intention with this change is really to give us the flexibility to analyze, adjust, and observe the outcome more frequently. That way, similar to what happened with the previous PTB, if a change doesn't go as we envisioned, we can readjust it before it goes live, and even after it goes live, right? Like, we're still listening for feedback, and we'll make further adjustments if needed.
Exactly. It's this ongoing process that never really ends, so I think that's something really important to highlight. But of course, we know that this doesn't only apply to things like perks and add-ons. We also are aware of some of the comments you folks are leaving about maps. So we are very happy to announce that moving forward, we plan on having map balancing as part of these regular gameplay updates as well. What more do you have to say on that, Jeff?
First, I mean, I can already hear the players rejoicing from really far away because this has been a hot topic
Depending
for a very
on what
long
you
time in
change.
Dead by Daylight. And I think you'll agree, and the players probably agree too, that most maps in Dead by Daylight are seen as either killer-sided or survivor-sided. And our goal with integrating into the live design process is really to make them feel more balanced, so creating a more even playing field for both sides. We started this process with the Raccoon City Police Department, then we followed suit with the Area of Crows map, and finally, the most recent ones were Blood Lodge and Gas Heaven. And what's great about these changes is that they can be as small as moving a small location for totems or generators, to reviewing pallet safety so we can make a pallet more safe or less safe, to bigger things like changing the map layout or changing building layouts.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I know our team's already coming through a lot of the feedback. Your team's already looking at how we can integrate some of that feedback. But looking toward the future a little bit more, what kind of maps are we going to be targeting next? I think I know what it might be.
We need a drum roll over here.
I know.
We really do. Because this one is a big one, and I'm sure that the longtime players will be ecstatic to hear that The next two maps that we're targeting are some of the most notorious maps in Dead by Daylight, Fractured Cowshed and Rancid Abattoir. But what's important to remember is that integrating this into the live design process means that we'll be listening to feedback and making further adjustments as we go.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also one of the reasons why it's so crucial that you let us know what your feedback is regularly through the official channels in particular. Of course, I believe we're going to be having this update for Cold Wind going live sometime before the end of the summer, so make sure to keep your eyes and your ears peeled for more information.
Well,
you know I had to take you a corny punt. You know it.
The cornfields are just dead zones, man.
Finally, in terms of our quick updates, we have one more feature that we wanted to discuss. And that is something to do with face camping. So if you're new to Dead by Daylight, if you've never heard this term before,
this ought to be
face camping
good.
is basically a term used to describe a killer that's standing directly in front of a hooked survivor. They're not moving, they're waiting for that hooked survivor to die on hook, and this is usually happening either for a large portion of the match, if not the entirety of the match. We know that face camping can be very unfun for the person on the hook, but of course also the other people in the match. So we're looking to test out a new feature that's going to help combat face camping as a whole.
All the ghosties out there. To be fair, like I mentioned Bubba earlier, but I am probably face camped by more ghost faces than anybody else. So maybe your lives are about to get shittier?
Jeff, tell us how it works.
Well, the first thing I want to say is that as an altruistic survivor, it's really difficult for me to play against someone who's face camping because I just want to help and I can't. So I'm stuck, doing generators instead, which is fine, but I'd rather help my teammates. But yes, so the way the system works is that the hooked survivor has a meter on their screen, and it fills up based on the killer's distance to the hooked survivor. So the closer the killer is, the faster it fills up. The further they are, the slower it fills up until it doesn't fill up at all because they're not within a certain radius. And once it's full, the hooked survivor can unhook themselves, even in the second stage. And what's great about this is that they get the full benefits of being unhooked. So it's as though a teammate had unhooked them, or they unhook themselves with perks such as Deliverance. So for those of you who don't know, that means they'll get the haste status effect and the endurance status effect, so they're pretty safe at that stage.
That is so awesome here. I know folks at home are probably already thinking about a bunch of things on this topic, so I'm going to start by bringing probably one of the questions we're going to get, and that...
Let's let them keep going.
What happens if the killer is forced to stay by the hook? So there's multiple survivors swarming the hook, they're forced to stay in that radius. Is there any situation in which this feature might slow down or turn off or be otherwise affected?
That's a great question. And yes, there are some scenarios where it either slows down or turns off. So for the first one that you mentioned, where survivors are swarming the hook, as soon as there is one other survivor within that same radius, the meter will build up a lot more slowly.
Good.
So the killer doesn't have to worry about survivors swarming the hook and being penalized for it.
Okay.
As for the second option that we talked about, which was turning it off, once the exit gates are powered, the feature is
okay. That actually
completely turned off.
So when you power the final exit gate, or when the exit gates are powered, that switches off. So if you're face camping, your only kill in the entire match, your one kill, this isn't going to be an issue. That's really good, actually, because that was going to be my biggest thing. I was like, sometimes you literally only get that last hook at the end of the match, and that could be your one kill, and this would completely negate that. But good news is it won't work. That's good. Wow.
You can defend your only objective
without
without having to worry about the survivor unhooking themselves.
Okay, that's damn. Well, they addressed my one big concern, and if other survivors are there, this is going to make it very interesting. I'm not going to lie. You're going to throw somebody on the hook now? And you can't show the killer the same meter, because if you did, then that's literally an indirect barbecue and chili sort of telling you that there's somebody within the radius. So you know to stick around the hook, right? So they can't show the killer the meter going up. The only thing they can do is suggest that you get the hell away. Ooh. That's very interesting. It's like you're going to throw them on the hook, you're going to want to start walking away immediately. You're not going to want to stick around there. Unless you see scratch marks or something, or you know somebody's nearby. I mean, sometimes you got assholes chasing you. Huh, that's very interesting. So they can still kick off, just at a slower rate, for this meter to fill up. I'm really curious how fast that meter will fill up. Like, that's going to be the big determining factor on this. How long does it take this meter to fill up? Let's say face camping Bubba or Ghosty are right in my face. I'm hooked. None of my friends are around. How fast will that meter fill up? And at the same time, I feel like this could really encourage tunneling, though, right? Because if you think about it, if I'm the kind of douche who's going to face camp, my first hook in the game, I'm going to hook him, and then if I face camp him, he's just going to kick himself off the thing. Yeah, he's getting haste and endurance, but the second he comes off, I'm going to hit him once, he's going to rocket away, I'm going to immediately give pursuit again, and I'm going to catch up with him relatively quickly. I mean, even with haste and endurance and borrowed time and all that shit, you still catch up with a survivor. It doesn't take very long if you really want that survivor. So if I get right after him, so he might potentially free himself before even, say, the first hook state is over. Again, I said it's all determined by how long this meter takes to fill up. And if this meter fills faster than, let's say, your first hook state bleeds down to, your killer is going to kill you faster because you're going to get off that hook sooner. They're going to tunnel your ass and put you back on the hook again. And if you kick yourself off the hook a second time, because they said it'll work even on second hook, so now you kick yourself off the hook again. Now they could moor you potentially right off the start. They could down you, they could moor you. Or they could just get that third hook on you like really fast. Oh, this is such a slippery slope. I gotta think more about this one. I'm not quite so tired. Because it seems just, yeah. It's gonna be a slippery slope, but I'm intrigued. I'm not against it completely, but it will be interesting to see how it works out. And then, of course, how big is the radius that the killer has to be away? Like, is it 20 feet? Think about something like Nurse's Calling, or some of these other perks where you hook the survivor and it makes people shout when they're within a reasonable distance. Is it going to be like that? Do you have to be out of sight? I don't know. It's just... I mean, personally, I would just bleed out a player's blood points. That would make more sense to me. Actually, no. Here's what you do, and I covered it in one of my other videos, and I've thought of this since then. If you want to combat face camping and tunneling, it's easy. What you do is you just make it so that when somebody is put on a hook, if the killer stands there for, again, I suppose, if you want to say within a radius, it drains their charges for their secondary special attack. Every killer has a special attack. So if Bubba is face camping, he loses his ability to use his chainsaw. He still has his hammer he can hit people with, but he can't chainsaw sweep. That's why Bubba face camps, is so he can chainsaw sweep people. And if you have him face camping and you take away his charges, so he has he's completely unable to use his chainsaw, he's not going to fucking stick around. He's going to leave. And that might seem a bit extreme, but I think it would work better than this. But I guess we'll find out.
It makes a lot of sense. Of course, we're going to be so eager to hear what you folks are going to say on this matter.
I bet they're saying a lot about it right now.
And for the most part, it really does sound like this feature is targeting those most egregious cases of face camping, where it's really used kind of in a spot that's way too early in the game, or a spot that's really not going to make sure that the match is as fun as possible. So with that said, though, when can folks expect to get their hands on this feature? When can they let us know what their thoughts are?
The burning question. Everyone wants to know. So our plan, which is subject to change, of course, is to have it sometime later this year on a PTB. And as with all PTBs, we'll be listening to feedback and making further adjustments before it goes live. And even once it goes live, we'll still be listening and gathering feedback to make further adjustments, just to make sure that, it's as good as it can be.
Of course, yeah. And again, TLDR, we are eager to hear those thoughts, so let us have. You're always keeping an eye out. But I think that's it. That's a wrap for our quick gameplay updates segment. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for joining me, Jeff, again.
Thanks for having me.
It was a lot of fun. If you're interested in learning more about this, please head on over to deadbydaylight.com after the broadcast, where there's going to be an in-depth article looking at all three of these topics in a little more detail. Outside of that, of course, more gameplay updates are coming this year, so stay tuned to our official channels to hear more news on that. Finally, our next segment is going to feature Raph and Pamela. They're going to be talking a little bit more about some highly anticipated quality of life improvements that you can expect to see in the game soon. So you want to stick around. You do not want to miss this.
We'll see you in the fog.
All right, it's time. Finally, I've been holding this in for too long. I can finally tell you all about our next survivor. Oh. All right, then.
Let's go.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be here to celebrate Dead by Daylight's 7th anniversary. My name is Raphael, producer on DBD, and today I'm pleased to be with Pam as well.
Hi, Rav. Hi, everyone. My name is Pamela. I'm the lead UI designer on Dead by Daylight as well. And we're so happy to be here today because we want to share with you some of the great quality of life improvements that the team is working really hard for year 8.
So before we dive into the good stuff, today our goal is to give you an idea on when we plan to deliver those upcoming features. That said, you know it is, sometimes priorities and timelines can shift. But we're more dev-focused live stream than ever planned for this year. We'll make sure to keep you in the loop. All right, let's get to it. So, Pam, to start, I think you have something that the community has been asking a lot.
Yes. So we all know Dead by Daylight has been live for 7 years now. And if you haven't been playing the game since the start, there's no way your inventory isn't full of perks, outfits, and charms, and add-ons, and items. Because we did release a lot of content back in the time. But last year, we did introduce the feature called Loadout Presets, which means that you were able to manage this process a little bit easier. But right now, we're so happy to say that we are building on this feature even more, because we are adding finally the Loadout search bar to help you find quickly whatever you're looking for. So on the Loadout search, you're just going to need to type in either the name of the thing you're looking for or just a word within the description, and it will find for you instantly.
So let's say I'm looking for the perks affecting generators. I just type in generator, and voila, all the related perks will be displayed.
That's exactly.
Cool. Oh, I can see how it's going to be a huge help for our players.
Yes, and not just that. We're happy to say that this feature is also going to be available in all platforms. And you won't have to wait for it longer either to test it, because this feature is going to be available today on the PTB update that we're going to be releasing right after this broadcast.
Amazing. We really hope you're going to enjoy.
Yes. So, as we're talking about improvements in the player experience, Raph, I know you have something really interesting for us today.
Yeah, we got a lot of requests on this feature. All DBD players know that sometimes when a survivor disconnects, well, it put the rest of the group at huge disadvantage. And it's safe to say that at this point, it's not going to be an ideal experience. So that's why with our upcoming feature, once a survivor will disconnect, an AI bot will take over so that the game can continue. And who knows, maybe this bot will be even better than the player who just disconnected. So, joking aside, we really hope this will alleviate frustration and help matches to run more smoothly.
I'm just imagining, since I became Iridescent 1 Killer and Survivor, I've noticed that the number of disconnects just like went up like a large scale. Like, I've had matches, just the first person I put down, like you find someone sometimes as a killer the first few seconds into a game. Sometimes you just find people. I mean, I've been found as a survivor right out the bat multiple times. Hence why I hate Mike Myers, that one match where he found me right at the start and moried me. But I'm just imagining starting one of these Iridescent 1 things and then someone DCs and suddenly it's like the bot player. And I'm just imagining Iridescent 1 matches just being bot matches. I seriously can see it. I've had it. I have, like, my 100th killer match. Everybody DC'd from it. And it was so funny. It was Nemesis at the RPD, and it's listed in my YouTube channel under killers. It wouldn't have been when I was streaming, but if you go and watch my 100th killer match, it's in the listing at 101 because I felt it was kind of anticlimactic to be number 100, so I skipped that, and then I replayed and did another match again in RPD, and these guys, I actually killed them or whatever. But yeah, the 100th match is actually there, and it's called Infectious DCing or Infectious Disconnecting. So if you check that out on my YouTube, you can see, like, I end up frickin' downing. Oh, it's just like, boom, I down this guy and he DCs. After he tries to, like, stop me from beating on his friend, because she unhooks him. She unhooks him because I hooked him, right? Lori goes for the rescue. I even know who it is. Lori goes for the rescue. She unhooks him, and I tentacle whip her while she's getting him. So now she's hurt. Then I chase her down, and I I punched her first. She gets the unhook. Then I tentacle whip her while she's unhooking him. She's running for the office. He runs past me because I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell him. I'm going to go after her, right? And I go right after her, and I chase her down, and I knock her down. I go down the little steps around the corner, and he vaults the thing, and he dead hards to avoid my hit. I chase him down the thing. He slams the pallet. I tentacle lash him and put him down again, and then he DCs. And then I go and I pick up Lori, and I throw her on the hook in the next room, and she DCs. So that's 2 bots already that we would have in the game, right pretty much near the beginning. And then shortly after that, I went to the second floor, went down towards the STARS office, and like the Fang Min or whoever was there, and I tentacle whip her, and she DCs too, so she was the 3rd DC. So that would make it the 3rd bot. And then and the last guy, he gave up because it's like, well, I mean, he was the only guy left in the game. They hadn't gotten anything done, so he was fucked and he knew it. In retrospect, I didn't think to kill him, like to let him go. I just beat him up. I was like, whatever, let's just throw him on the hook and get this match over. Because I had hooked. He was actually the first person in the entire match that I hooked, believe it or not. And because I caught him outside in the front runway there, the yard thing, and I knocked him down. I put him on the hook there at the foot of the stairs. And then I went and chased after those other 2. But it was really funny to think that that would have been one guy and 3 bots in the match had that occurred. And that's not the only time that's happened. There's been so many times where I start downing people. Again, most recently, actually, the one match I had where the guy actually came into my stream afterwards to try to give me shit, and they DC'd for the match. That would have been bots too, which is really funny because that was Wormy at Auto Haven Records, I think it was. Yeah, it was Wormy at Auto Haven Records. And he was like getting all snarky with me because he was going to accuse me of like face camping, ironically, which is what we were talking about here, which I wasn't actually doing because I threw her on the hook and I did a loop around because I saw somebody in the vicinity, didn't find them, and then I went through the portal and I used my token to see where people were. There was one working a gen really on the other side of the thing, so I went right at her. She finished the generator before I got to her. She came running out. She ran past me. I think I hit her on the way by, and she ran for the unhook, and I was chasing her, and we went back to the hook just because I was after her. And then I think I got her down, and that other person was going for the unhook, and that was when I ran up. And then she was standing there, and she was like trying to bait me, She's like, oh, I'm going to grab him, I'm going to grab him, I'm going to grab him, try to get me to hit her so she could get the unhook without, being grabbed. But that didn't pan out, and I just sort of stood there staring at her. And hilariously enough, that wouldn't work anymore now, because by doing that, the timer would go up now. But at any rate, in this case, the timer wasn't going to go up because that's not a feature yet. So she sat there trying to psych me up, and I just sat there kind of laughing because I was like, I'm going to grab you if you try to get her off. Meanwhile, she almost, I think, maybe she got the second hook, I don't remember, but then one of the other guys came running in, and that was when I hit her, because I was like, well, now there's two. So I just hit her, and then he just bolted, and maybe she went for the unhook, I don't remember. But after that incident, they gave up the match, because, apparently I was face camping this person, which I was there, but technically I was camping the person who was trying to get the unhook, who was just standing beside her on the hook, staring at her and like raising her arms like she was going to go for the hook. But yeah, it's interesting. Because then, of course, they all started coming around the hook, and I started, people were getting slugged because they were all around the hook. But yeah, they all quit out. So it'd be interesting to see how many matches will become bot matches when that happens. Will there be a disconnection notice for the killer? Will you still get the disconnection bonus? That's something that I think should still happen. When the player disconnects, I get the disconnect bonus anyway, and then the player just becomes a bot from that point on.
Yes, and also to make sure that no one is left in the dark, what we're going to do is, as soon as a bot spawns in, every survivor and every killer on the game, they're going to be made aware through the UI, as well as a sound cue, whenever they see there is a survivor disconnect bot in the match they're playing.
And right now, we have planned to release the feature this summer.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, for the next feature, if you're playing online game, I'm pretty sure you're going to recognize what Pam is about to mention.
Yes, this is something that we are super excited because the team is really working hard in trying to come up with an entirely new type of cosmetics. So you'll be able to showcase your personality on Dead by Daylight even more.
Yeah, sure.
So what we're talking about here is the player cards.
That's what you're saying.
And what means for us on Dead by Daylight is, alongside your name, you're probably going to be able to assign a background or a banner and an icon. And you will be able to earn those cosmetics during the fall. This is where we're planning. But the idea is they're going to start as standard rewards in every tome, and we're still going to be working on other ways for you to earn those cosmetics in the future.
Yeah, like
so we're not stopping there.
Sure.
That's awesome. Can't wait to share my custom icons and banners.
Yes.
They're going to be in the Rift.
One last thing, Raph, I know you have something that ties everything that we're talking about here related to improvements.
Yeah, as we said today, we're constantly working on making DBD a safer, but also a more secure environment for all players. And the report system is an integral part of that.
Oh, wow, the report system.
Right now, how it works, at the end of the game, if a player wants to report people because of bad conduct, hacking, or other reason, they can.
No, you can't.
But let's be honest, there is not much visibility on that process. But it's important to say that our team has always been committed to taking action on this report. Soon, thanks to our upcoming feature, the player report feedback, we will let you know when an action has been taken against a player you reported.
I would love to hear that.
And also to highlight even more, not only every report that every player does is really appreciated, but we are really taking serious and having those actions done, on our side.
Yeah, and as for now, we plan to release the feature over the summer.
Interesting.
And that's it for today. Thanks for another.
Wow. Well, that'll be interesting. So if people just never fucking take action against somebody that you report for whatever, That'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm suspecting they'll probably just have a bot that goes through the vast majority. Because, I mean, you're going to have people who are reporting people for, face camping or tunneling or whatever. Or just because. Hey, kiddo. What you doing?
I was going to watch something.
You had a good sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, go watch a show. Happy birthday!
Oh, yeah.
Close my door. So that's really interesting to know that something will be done about people now. Especially when you report them for, the really egregious things. Because I can imagine I've probably been reported for fucking God knows what. But it'll be really interesting to see what happens when you report people now.
Amazing year. Thank you so much, Pam, for being with us today.
Thank you, Raph.
Next up, an exciting look at what lies ahead for the world of Dead by Daylight. Enjoy the rest of the broadcast. Ciao!
Very interesting. Prequel comic series. The terrifying origins of the Legion. Hey Recon, how you doing? I'm just watching the cast. Learning about all the new stuff that's out there. And apparently we needed a fucking Legion fucking comic book to explain a bunch of goofy ass fucking teenagers, finding a reason to kill people. How about this? Fuck the Legion and give us the Huntress. Somebody who'd be interesting. Or the Hag. The Hag would probably have an interesting story. But no, they give us the fucking Legion, of course. Dead by Daylight Mobile. Yeah, nobody cares about Sadako. Ah, Victor! New outfits, nobody cares.
Our game will be set outside the entity's realm and feature the story of a new cast of characters.
Wait, what are we doing? Okay, Dead by Daylight Mobile.
Hi, I'm Stephen Mulrooney, Executive Vice President of the Digital at Behavior Interactive. As someone who's been on Dead by Daylight since the very beginning, it's been amazing to see the ways both the game and its community have grown. We've added a lot to the studio over the past 7 years, with a mobile game, comic books, a board game, Hooked on You, and even the Dead by Daylight movie on the way.
Awesome.
We've become a franchise with something for everyone. Today, I'm happy to announce that we're gearing up to get even bigger, expanding Dead by Daylight beyond our core game and giving players more ways into the fog than ever before. To bring these new experiences to life, we're collaborating with some amazing studios, one with expertise in multiplayer games, and another with expertise in interactive narratives. So with that, let's hear a little bit more about what they've been up to.
We're obviously all horror fans here at Supermassive, and massive fans of Dead by Daylight. Now we're thrilled to be collaborating with Behavior on a brand new single-player interactive story game set in the terrifying omniverse of Dead by Daylight.
We've been working hard to blend the tension, agency, and branching storytelling of a supermassive game together with Dead by Daylight's mythology to create an intense narrative experience filled with powerful life or death choices. Our game will be set outside the entity's realm and feature the story of a new cast of characters who players will follow for an unprecedented experience beyond the fog.
This is a whole new way for horror fans to experience Dead by Daylight, and we couldn't be more excited to share it with the world. So stay tuned, we'll have more to reveal later this year.
It's been almost a year since Midwinter joined the Behavior family to work on a brand new project set in the Dead by Daylight universe. One of the things we love most about the world of Dead by Daylight is the infinite possibilities. We thought about the game's multiplayer action, which we love, and reimagined it in a completely new way.
The themes in our game will center around greed and the lust for power. These will be present in both the gameplay itself and in the stories of the characters who were tempted to enter a strange new corner of the entity's realms. Our vision is to create a multiplayer PvE experience where instead of facing off against each other, up to 4 players can team up, enter another one of the entity's realms, and take on a host of deadly enemies that occupy it.
This project is still in very early stages. We are really excited about what we're doing and can't wait to share more as we go.
Stay tuned.
When you actually know what the game's about? Sure. Sounds good.
7 years in, and the world of Dead by Daylight has never felt bigger. I'm so excited that players will have 2 new ways to explore the entity's realm. There's still a lot of work to do before we'll have more to share, but just follow Dead by Daylight and we'll make sure you're the first to know.
Maybe.
Hi everyone, I'm Xavier Etchepart, Art Director.
Hi everyone, I'm Rose Lee, Senior Product Manager.
We're super happy to be back with you today to talk about all the new exciting content coming to the Dead by Daylight store over the next year. Rose, it's been 7 years already.
Long journey.
Oh, what a long journey, what a beautiful journey, but 7 years old, wow. Dozens of collections, thousands of
How about you just announce you're going to put the prices down?
Dedication by our
That would be
department.
nice.
And yeah, along the years, we provided to our players an incredible amount of options when it comes to how to represent themselves.
And bring back past things that aren't there anymore
It's
in
a
the
lot of
store for sale.
And more.
I want the tiki glass, goddammit.
And today, I think we should share more about it.
Okay.
About what's coming.
We're ready to share.
Yeah. And also, we have a special guest joining us later to discuss about this unique collection we work on together. So, yeah, maybe we should start.
Okay, so Dead by Daylight is a game, as you all know, that's known for its great soundtrack, and we're always on the lookout for opportunities to explore like the music scene in particular in our cosmetics. And we have 2 collections coming in the next year that, well, although they've just come together and we don't really have any dates yet, but we really couldn't resist sharing. So here goes. First off, Dead by Daylight is partnering with heavy metal legends Iron Maiden.
Yes.
On a collection built around the iconic Eddie, who, well, let's be honest, he fits
Eddie's badass.
right into our game, right? All of the cosmetics in this collection will be
All the
like,
metalheads are
portraying
using it
his
right
many
now.
album cover appearances, which are super cool. And secondly, we're thrilled to be partnering with Slipknot on a collection that showcases many of their trademark masks. We'll be making 9 masks in total, paying tribute to some of the band's most iconic members over the years. Well, all 4 killers, of course.
Yes.
So yeah, as we said, it's really early for both
Nice.
of these collections, but we'll share more news as we get to work on them.
If I knew anything about music right now and about Slipknot's masks, maybe I could be excited about the killer masks that are coming. But I know for a fact there's a lot of Slipknot fans out there who are already saying, oh, this mask will be for this killer. I can't do that. Sorry, I wish I could, but I can't.
What's next?
Yeah, I think it's a good time to talk about our community. You. Our community, and since the beginning of Dead by Daylight, they are super important for us, and we were attached to put the spotlight on them on a unique store collection since a while, because we have fans all around the world who are also really talented and creative artists.
For sure.
And even if it's not the first time we showcase their work in the store, organizing the
competitions, right? We did that before.
Exactly, to appear in game. This year, we would like to take it a step further and unifying our
Bringing
inspirations, passion, guidelines
stuff?
to build
That would
something
be
new
cool.
together. And the result of it is the Artists from the Fog collection. So I remember when we asked to our community to submit their work, and
we got
hundreds, we had
applications.
Plenty of amazing applications, and we had to select some of them. So I remember we selected 4 winners from Poland, US, Spain, Canada. There is also a 5th contributor, as you know.
Canada.
We'll keep it for later. Feature on that collection. But we invited them to select their favorite character. It was important. And we're super lucky because we ended up with a split of 2 survivors and 2 killers. So balance was perfect. And then we met and we share with them all these things they need to know to work on our outfits, like the technical constraints, the lore, the
how to mix and match,
etc. Everything they needed before giving them the really precious maximum creative freedom to start their designs.
Mm-hmm.
And next we did this regular follow-up with them, and we achieved beautiful and functional designs, still respecting the artist's intentions, but also our needs.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was an incredible collaboration. We have beautiful outfits, because I think like all these creativity, these ideas, their design, they brought to our game, our fresh approach to it, new eyes. So it's I'm super happy with the results. So thanks again for these artists to work on that collection was great.
That's great to hear.
Yes.
And also we have that 5th artist that we invited ourselves to be a part of the Artists from the Fog collection.
Yes.
She's an industry veteran, as you know, known for her fantastic work on like Okami, Bayonetta, the Evil Within series, and of course Ghostfire Tokyo. We're incredibly excited to have her joining us today to share a little bit about her designs. Welcome, Ikumi Nakamura.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome. Hi, I'm Ikumi Nakamura.
Hello everyone from the Dead by Daylight community, and thanks for having me.
Welcome, Ikumi-san. Hi. It's great having you here today, but before we get into the outfits you created for Dead by Daylight, we wanted to ask you first, could you share with us what draws you to horror, and like was it something that you liked growing up, and like what's so unique to you about creating art in this genre?
The reason I'm attracted to horror is because of my dad originally, who showed me a lot of horror games and movies, so I got exposed to them quite a lot. Honestly, I don't really know what the reason I'm attracted to horror is. I'm accustomed, or rather my body is. Inside my cells, horror grows. If there's horror, I have to see it. Anything horror-related. I really became interested in it. So after all horror is... That one went by really fast. Very fast subtitles. It was like a big blurb, too. Okay, yeah, shut up. Like, fucking let her talk again. You're creating 3 outfits for that, whatever. You're creating 3 outfits for this collection. I'm assuming she's doing Yui. Oh, the Oni! She's doing the Oni! Oh, wow. He's a demon that's fallen to a curse that's taken from Japanese history. So I looked at the time he got the curse, the clothes he wore, to create the design I made for Kazan's dragon outfit. Legion. Julie, she's, what do you call it? She gave me the feelings of being a troubled girl. You think? Concept of a delinquent schoolgirl, so I gave her that style of outfit. Yui, I knew it. She's got that biker and burly feel to her, which you really like. But that kind of girl, how do you say her private life? If she went to Harajuku, what kind of clothes would she buy from there? I wanted to see that, so I created that type of character. We'd love to hear more about the candles on Kazan's head, you see. If the player sees them, I want them to think, Kazan's here, I need to hide. If a player... I think that the legibility is important for a game, and that's how I arrived on the Oni design. He actually looks kind of cool. He looks almost mummified, and he's got this black robe on and long, flowing white hair. And yeah, he has the candles sticking out on both sides of his head. And he's blindfolded. This will be a really cool design. I would actually buy that one. Julie, originally 4 characters together make up the Legion. So I thought I should design something for all four. What if I did all four? But we ended up deciding on just one for her. Julie's design is based on the 70s, 80s pop culture. Yeah. Became popularized by what times Japanese school kids, such as hooligan boys and delinquent schoolgirls, so I gave her that style of outfit. Black Japanese schoolgirl outfit. In regards to Yui, I thought, how can we bring out her softer side? I wanted to see what her look into her day-to-day life would be like. And then since she's always got that biker jacket on, I wanted to see what it would be like if I put her in cute girly clothes instead. Well, okay. She's basically wearing like a sports top and pants. I also realized she's usually heavily dressed, but also being relatively lightly dressed means that she can run from the killer and move faster. I ended up on this sporty kind of look for her. Yeah, it's basically all it is. Nothing impressive. Honestly, the Oni outfit looks good. The others aren't all that impressive.
So the artist from the Fall collection, featuring Rokami Kumi Nakamura, will be available in the Dead by Daylight in-game store this summer.
Oh.
Yay.
I have a last announcement.
What?
And it will be a nice piece of nostalgia for any long-time fans of Behavior. Because we have our team, our big team, and an important part of this team worked on a game a long time ago named Naughty Bear.
Oh my god.
Naughty Bear. No, this game featured a bear living in its happy community of bears, but he's going on a murderous rampage after they didn't invite him to a party. I mean, what an iconic character, super interesting, and we were attached to
He'd get along with cocaine.
The game since a while, and I'm super happy because now we are finally doing it.
Players have been asking for it.
Yeah, I know, and it's coming soon this year. This year is coming.
Oh, wow.
And we will attach a cosmetic. It will be part of the Trapper cosmetics, and we will give royal treatment. It will be a lot of fun for players to see him. Like,
awesome.
Naughty Bear.
Thank you for watching. I hope you really enjoy all these announcements, all the upcoming outfits coming this year. And thank you again, Kumi Nakamura, to be here with us today. It was a real pleasure to work with you.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, because Jean and Sarah are coming up next.
I would have rather seen what she would have done with Rin.
In-game celebrations for the 7th anniversary. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.
All right, this time for real. Okay.
Cut! Matt,
Seriously?
we've talked about this.
No, but
What's so hard? We've been doing this for 5 years together.
I can do it right now.
No.
Like 2 minutes.
Wait,
10 minutes left in the broadcast. Let him fucking spit it out.
Hey there, I'm Sarah Robinson. I'm one of the Associate Art Directors on Dead by Daylight. I help out with a number of areas of the game, but events are definitely one of my favorites.
And I'm Gene Escalante, a senior game designer on Dead by Daylight, and I'm focused on the events. And I'm so glad that I get to be here with Sarah, as 7 years ago, when I first became a fan of DVD, she helped me get my very first tattoo, which was altruism, just 2 months after the game's release. Thank you.
No problem, I'm happy. Okay, so Gene, there's lots to celebrate this year. And we're kicking things off early this year with a month of in-game activations leading up to the anniversary event. So tell us more about these activations.
I have to log in every day.
We will be celebrating a different 2-year period of Dead by Daylight's history. So that'll include characters, maps, and mechanics that were introduced during those periods. So for example, week 1 will be featuring the Blood Hunts. Week 2 will then be doubling the Rift fragments for your Rift Pass. And in week 3, we will be inviting you, the players, to vote for our community choice event, which will occur during the Chapter 28 release. And once the anniversary event goes live, we'll be doing giveaways for previous anniversary cosmetics, including outfits and the Year 5 crowns.
Twisted Masquerade was a huge hit last year.
That was a good
and
one.
This year, we're bringing it back bigger and better
Awesome.
than ever. But the host of the Twisted Masquerade has actually stepped out of the shadows this year and has lent their certain special kind of decorating skills to our in-game event. What can players expect to see?
Well, the host has introduced a lot of various artworks throughout various areas of the game, so you'll definitely want to check those out. And, Father Campbell's Chapel has gone.
Wow.
A fan of DVD. She helped me get my very first tattoo.
Sorry, I'm trying to see.
Leading up to the anniversary event. So tell us more about these activations.
Exactly. So each week we will be celebrating a different 2-year.
There was a thing on the screen. I just want to see what it says. Because it went by rather quick.
So, for example, week 1 will be featuring the
Boosted
blood
maps,
hunts. Week
brood
2 will then
hunts.
be doubling the rift fragments for your
May
rift hunts.
30th to June
And week
6th.
3, we will be inviting you, the players, to vote for our community choice event, which will occur during the Chapter 28 release. And once the anniversary event goes live, we'll be doing giveaways for previous anniversary cosmetics, including outfits and the Year 5 crowns.
Twisted Masquerade was a huge
What are the Year 5 crowns? I wasn't around for that. I gotta Google that, don't I? Because that's probably a good thing.
hit last year. And this year, we're bringing it back bigger and
Good.
better
I
than
would
ever.
like the Twisted Masquerade.
The host of the Twisted Masquerade has actually stepped out of the shadows this year and has lent their certain special kind of decorating skills to our in-game event. What can players expect to see?
Well, the host has introduced a lot of various artworks throughout various areas of the game.
Okay. Available February 20th to July 13th, 2023? What? That's gotta be wrong. It's getting twisted. Who or what they are is unknown. Perform a deadly dance. Collect an invitation and use their power. Roll and chase to mess with the opposing rule. Time's up when the curtain calls and the exit's open. If your use of your invitation's abilities requires a brand new input, be sure to check the input bindings in the settings. New masks and outfits will be earned in the trials and the Twisted Masquerade tome. Hold on to at least one charge on your invitation by the time an escape has opened. Be at the exit. Oh, okay, so your invitation will have charges now. You can't just escape with it. It'll have a use. So, have at least one charge on your invitation by the time an escape or an exit has opened. Be at the exit gates or the hatch. Masquerade goodies. The host of this event has left many artworks and decor for you to feast your eyes on. Don't forget to check the Blood Web for returning survivor items as well as the new Terror Misu dessert. That's awesome. So we're in Terror Misus. That's awesome. Instead of the flans. You'll also be joined by several mysterious masked guests throughout the trials. Stay tuned for more Twisted news. Okay.
So you'll definitely want to check those out. And, Father Campbell's Chapel has gone through a complete masquerade makeover.
The
And it
chapel's
looks
like a
incredible.
freaking ballroom. That looks
But
pretty good.
This host seems to have brought along some mysterious masked figures. What are these, weird ghostly spirits? Who or what are they? If you want to find out, you're going to have to take a closer look.
Speaking of masked figures, we're bringing back Masquerade masks this year.
I would hope so.
We have 12 new masks for 12 new characters. But getting your hands on them...
Ooh, the knight. His fucking mask looks amazing. The nurse. The singularity, of course. Meg Thomas, Serena, Jonah, Jeff, Gabriel Soma, of course, makes sense. His looks actually pretty cool. Felix's looks nice. Oni's is fucking awesome. Blight's. The Knights looks freaking amazing. He's got kind of a Wolverine kind of crown thing going up with this fucking the Titans from Attack on Titan kind of shit-eating grin on his face. But no eyes. This looks like it's like an angelic figure, and it's the wings that are spreading up on both sides. It looks fucking amazing. A really evil Wolverine / Titan from Attack on Titan. That's the best way I can describe it. The Legion actually looks pretty. They actually all look really good, to be perfectly honest. And the nurse is getting one, which is really cool. Hers is a really cool one. I would wear that on her. Getting your hands on them last year was a little tricky. No shit.
Last year was a little tricky. For killers, you had to make it through your trial.
Yeah, that
and
was
for
it.
survivors, you had to actually make it through the exit gate.
Yeah.
So
Which
how have
sucked.
we improved things for this year?
Well, the invitations that came out last year, Sarah, they'll be back. But this time, invitations will be holding charges, and you'll use those charges to kind of mess with the opposition while you're in chase. So if you're a survivor, what you'll be able to do is block the window vaults so the killer can't pursue you, and you'll also be able to spawn a pallet, which can be used in an emergency,
Dude.
but it'll break right upon use. Killers, on the other hand, they'll be able to reduce the impact of a stun, remotely break a pallet or a breakable wall, and survivors better watch out about this one. They will be able to inflict the exposed status effect on you once they've reached a tier of bloodlust. But in order to get your cosmetic, you will need to make sure that you are holding onto at least one charge by the time that an exit opens, and that's either the exit gate or the hatch. So our players are going to have to decide what is ultimately more important to them: exhausting the charge to help them in a time of need, or getting that brand new mask.
Oh, it's such a tough.
Well, we know the... Oh, Jesus. How many fucking... Oh, God. Goddamn pallets are gonna be fucking annoying during this event. I can tell you that much. Especially if these motherfuckers can spawn them now. I'm also curious if these guys are gonna have, like, if I have an invitation and they're running and they're gonna spawn a pallet, if I can just click the button to despawn it. We'll be in this, like, thing where we'll be, like, clicking charges on this invitation and be like, pallet, no, pallet, no, pallet, no. Shit, I'm out of charges. And then I, like, hack them, or I'm out of charges, and the pallet stays and they escape. That'd be kind of fucking weird, right? And can you imagine how many bully squads are gonna fucking keep that? Like, going in, they're just gonna spend, like, millions of points to gather as many of those as they can for their fucking... Oh, God. For their fucking players. Well, actually, no. I guess if it's an invitation you have to earn, you can't really save it like you can the flans. Okay, that's not too bad then. So during the anniversary event, it'll be kind of shitty. But at the same time, during the anniversary event, I do like to... I mean, last year during the 6-year anniversary was when I started Friendly Killer for the first time. When I started with Friendly Freddy. So this year, Wormy will be doing it. So it may or may not suck. But definitely we're going to be getting our fucking stuff. That's
A lot of the players have a mechanic now where they can gain these masks without having to escape the trial. So, beyond the mask, we have a number of excellent unlockable cosmetics as part of the Twisted Masquerade event tome, including 2 brand new outfits. Last year, our guests of honor were Hattie and the Dredge, as part of our Roots of Dread chapter. But this year, we're highlighting 2 fan favorites, Nia and the
Oh
Hillbilly.
my God, Nia.
We also have a number of playfully chaotic charms for you to collect. It's worth noting, though, that all of last year's cosmetics, masks, outfits are going to be available in the store. So if you missed out on anything,
That's good.
Now's your chance to go collect them.
Exactly. And keeping track of their collections is going to be much easier this year. So the event pop-up now is multi-tab. So you'll be able to find a collection tab and a store tab. In the collection tab, you'll find anything that can be earned through event gameplay or through the event tome. And in the store tab, you'll be able to find anything that we want to feature that is event-related. And in
That's
there,
good.
you'll be able to find the Feng Min and the Ghostface outfits, which are brand new Twisted Masquerade outfits. So be sure to check those out.
That'll be cool.
We've got one more thing coming as part of the anniversary event, don't we, Jean? This year, we're debuting a new kind of challenge condition, random perks. This is exactly what it sounds like. You roll the proverbial dice, and your loadout is equipped with those random perks. So this is a condition you might see on challenges that ask you to heal a survivor or down a survivor, for example.
While using random perks.
Last but not least, we're bringing back community challenges. So this is a great time for the whole community to get together, to work together and unlock additional rewards.
Exactly, Sarah. And we will be there, ready to support you guys through those community challenges. So make sure to stay tuned, and don't forget that the road to anniversary content starts today. And that is a wrap on the 7th anniversary show for Dead by
No, 'cause
Daylight.
what's his
Another
name
year of
has to
content
say
reveals.
his
Thank you
thing.
so much for joining us.
So
and
come
spending your day
on.
with us here. It's been as exciting as I hoped it would be. I hope you've enjoyed it. And don't forget that the PTB for End transmission is live right now. So if you're on PC, you can jump over and start testing out things
I
that were
wish.
just
That would be
revealed in the
cool.
show today, which is
But
pretty
no.
special. So thanks once again to our dev team back at the studio. Thanks. Oh, right.
I have one last thing, seriously, before we finish. I know we had some great reveals today, but I have one last thing that I'm super thrilled to talk about. We are welcoming into the fog this year someone, it's a brand new survivor, like we've never done before. He's an amazing actor with a career that spans
Nicolas
decades. He's done
Cage.
everything, all the greatest movies you've ever seen. He's been in the horror world for a while with cult classics, the cosmic horror. He will be joining the fog this summer. We are so excited to have him with us.
There's nothing more powerful than imagination. It can shape the fabric of reality, transforming everything you may think you know.
Learn more on July 5th. And how much could fucking happen between now and July 5th? Okay. Well, whatever.
Joining the fog this summer. We are so excited to have him with us.
Trapper 7. Dead by Daylight 7, Trapper 7. Well, that's it, folks. Okay, so that's the 7-year fucking... Huh. Nicolas Cage. That's bizarre. Hmm. Well, that's some crazy shit, man. How very interesting. Well, exactly sure. Well, crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Not much else to be found here on any of this. So that's that, I guess. Yeah, I mean, some interesting things to take in from all this, right? I'm really curious about how that face camping thing is going to work out. Whether it's going to turn people into tunnelers instead. It is going to make things interesting, that's for sure. Oh, crap. What else is there? I don't know. Oh, God. And that new killer, I mean, he looks interesting. I guess it'll all come down to what his mechanics are. They don't really say what his mechanics... Well, I mean, I guess they do, but at the same time, it's kind of weird, because he's just attaching little fucking pods to people, and, like, they don't really suggest how it's going to mess with gameplay. I mean, at least with the Skull Merchant, you get, okay, she has drones, so she's obviously going to be, like, watching people. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this killer turns out. As well as this map, they're saying they want it to be extremely fucking well to hide in. That'll be interesting. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty lush and covered in all kinds of colors, so seeing people might be a little harder. But, again, I don't know, whatever, we'll see what happens. All in all, looking forward to the event. The Masquerade event especially, I think, will be very fun. Can't wait for that. As well as the, you know, everything else that comes along with it. I don't think there's anything else here they've announced. Yeah, watch the broadcast here. Damn it, I missed it. That pissed me off. Kinda wish I could have watched it live, but I guess I missed out. That's fine. Just means I got to watch it with, you know, any of you who might be now watching, you know, this. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next while. I'm definitely going to have to start playing a little bit more. I haven't played in a while. Pretty sure my, yeah, I'm only Bronze 4 with Killer right now, so I haven't been doing anything really, as you can tell. My Survivor is probably even worse. I'm probably still Ash 3. So yeah, I definitely got to play a little more Dead by Daylight the next day or two. I'm going to finish off, most likely finish Resident Evil tonight, and then, yeah, we'll see what happens in the next coming days. Tired. Alright, thank you very much for tuning in. I am Bot Whisperer, and you can check out all my stuff on YouTube, and, you know, whatever's not here. And everything that's here does get backed up on YouTube, so check out YouTube Bot Whisperer, and you can see all my other... everything else I've ever done and watched and played and whatever and discussed. I've got a few, you know, just random chatting videos on there too, so do check that stuff out as well. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all next stream. Take care. Bye-bye.